What is up, and welcome into another episode of the Somebody Said Canes show. I'm here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. for the time being. Eventually, I'll switch back to Wednesdays. I'm talking nothing but Miami Hurricanes football. Yes, it is the off season, but no, that does not mean this show is going to stop. Appreciate everybody that tunes in, man. The people who are able to jump in live, I always appreciate those folks. Hit the comments. I want to talk ball with y'all too. Y'all know I always try and put the comments on the screen. Show love to the people that show love to me. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Y'all been doing a lot of that. I really appreciate it. As you can see, I got a guest with me tonight. I got my man, Mike Sanchez. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man. Glad to have you on, brother. So you've been on before, back when I was doing it on the other channel. This is your first time on this channel, man.
Yeah,
So I appreciate you making some time to come check in with me. It
of course, man.
kind of just worked out
Excited to
this
do
way.
it.
I didn't plan it this way. It kind of just worked out this way. Where the last time you came on, we went through the position groups and we ranked everybody. We graded everybody, right?
I'd love to look back at that. I feel like we had a pretty good ranking overall.
Well, after the SMU game, I think we kind of backed out for a minute.
Right.
But we're going to run it back, man. As the title says, it's Miami versus everybody. We're going to go position group rankings, and we're going to rank every group. Do we think they're top 5 in the country, top 10 in the country, 25, or even not ranked? Before we get into that, though, Mike, I want to give you an opportunity to reintroduce yourself to some people who may not have seen the prior episode. You're kind of Mr. Everything Miami in my book. You like them all, man. Give a quick introduction. How are you become a Miami Hurricanes fan, and who's your favorite player all time?
Yeah, like I said, my name is Mike. Been a Canes fan my whole life. Born and raised in Coral Gables. Was actually born on campus, Doctor's Hospital, ironically. Yeah,
Are you really?
fun fact. Was going to games as a kid. Yeah, I was. Going to games with my dad as a kid, had season tickets at the Orange Bowl, saw wide right, wide left, one of the few. Um, but yeah, just been a fan my whole life. Lived down here, moved up to Orlando recently, but still watch every game. I haven't missed a home game. Attendance has been a little bit shaky on my end the last few years, I will admit. You know best. But
Yeah.
always love the Canes. Miami, everything. But my favorite player of all time, always an
Mhm.
interesting question because it's weird. I've always wanted to say it's Kenny Kelly, very off the wall quarterback, late 90s, but
Okay.
I barely remember him. I was 4 or 5. I remember very little about him, so it's hard for me to claim that. So if I had to say my favorite that I watched, growing up, it probably had to be Duke Johnson, just because he came at a time when our program was, absolute dog water. It's the worst. It was just awful. There was nothing good about it. And
Yeah.
he came here, could have gone to any other school in the country, and literally for 3 years put the team on his back from his first game against Boston College. So he's just one of those guys that they're gems. They don't really come by very often. And he came at a time where he really didn't have to go. So I'd probably give it to Duke.
All right. I respect that answer, man. One of my favorite things about Duke Johnson, obviously phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Committed in like ninth grade, didn't take really visits anywhere, never wavered in his commitment.
No, he
Just
never played any of the games. It was the most peaceful recruiting trip event we ever had.
yeah, especially for a kid who had plenty of options. Because Duke was a monster at Miami Norland, like a
Yep.
complete monster. So
If you remember his
okay.
first game against Boston College, I think it was 2012. He single-handedly won that game. Had the kick return, I believe. Had a few other touchdowns. Just different level.
Special,
Yeah,
man. Love to see him back around the program too. That's super dope.
absolutely.
All right, man. Listen, I'm gonna throw you a little bit of a curveball, Mike, because I said we were gonna do
Okay,
position group rankings, but I think I did this to you last time too,
you did.
and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I
All
want to
right.
start. Let's rank the coaching staff. So, if you looked at obviously head coach Mario Cristobal, and we'll just do coordinators. Corey Heatherman, D coordinator. Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator. If you had to say where you rank this coaching staff in the nation, would they be top 25, top 10, top 5, or even not ranked? I doubt it, but where would you rank them?
Man, that's tough because if you look at my tweets, you think they're all the worst of all time. But I'm here to be practical. So I got it. It's weird because I got to say Corey's probably top 5, top 10 defensive coordinator in the country easily.
Okay. Okay.
Shannon's, he's hit or miss. Obviously, it's weird because then you look at Brian Haynes. I think the defensive coordinator of Indiana had that tweet a few weeks ago. Said we were the hardest offensive scheme against, which surprised me. I think it more had to do with personnel than scheme, but he said scheme, so I was a little surprised by that. Mario, some of his gaffes are at this point I think they're a little bit overblown. We all saw Georgia Tech. I mean, there's some timeout things maybe you could critique, but I think unless you're just there you go. Unless you're just a true hater, which there are still some out there. I see them on Twitter all the time. It's hard to really knock them for anything. So all that being said, collectively, when you factor in recruiting, just overall program, even funding, strength training, all that, you have to go top 10 minimum, in my opinion. What do you think?
I was just having this conversation. One is line season, right?
That's true.
And I fully participate in line season. And two, I think there are some coaches who we've all just put at a certain status because of their prior accomplishments. For instance, Dabo Swinney. Dabo's won 2 national championships. But in the current landscape, Dabo's kind of a dud.
Yeah.
So where I used to just default, oh, yeah, Dabo's top 5. He's got 2 natties. I don't think Dabo's top 5 no more.
No, I agree with you.
So then if I start going down, I'm like, okay, where does Mario land? Right? Obviously, I put him behind Kirby Smart. I put him behind Kurt Cignetti. I'm fine putting him behind Freeman up there in Notre Dame. I'm cool with that too. But then after that, the names start to get a little shaky, right? You got to put Ryan Day in there.
Of course.
So that's 4. After that, I'm like, who has a much stronger argument than Mario?
And people, sorry to interrupt. People are going to say Dan Lanning. And before last year, I would have agreed with you. But after this year, I'm not sure you can make that argument anymore.
Listen, Dan Lanning, great recruiter. Mario's a great recruiter. He has had some regular season success. Mario's had a regular season success.
Yeah.
He has had his struggles in the postseason. Well, Mario just played for a natty. So, I mean, sure, if you want to fight over should it be Lanning over Mario, you've got a strong argument, and I can live with that. But I think I can make a pretty good argument that Mario is a top 5 head coach in the country, which is kind of wild to say.
I know. If you would have told me that 2 years ago, I'd be like, you're full of it. But
full of it. And so now you look at Dawson, who has fielded the number 1 offense in the country at least once. He's had another top 25 offense in the country. Corey Heatherman just goes out and fields a top 5 defense in the country this past season. Fully expect his unit to be really, really good again. I think he's top 15 at worst. Maybe he's got a little more to prove at, the P4 level. But if I'm summing it all up, man, they've got to be minimum top 10. And I think I can make a strong argument for top 5 because a lot of coaching staffs are not strong at all 3 of those spots. Either you got a phenomenal head coach, do you have an OC that really is dialing up top 10 offenses, or do you have a DC as well doing the same thing? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, like you said, the other thing is continuity. I mean, how many teams brought back both their coordinators? Indiana, Georgia, I think maybe, because Oregon didn't. I'm not sure. I don't really follow Notre Dame, but I assume they may have. But not many top programs brought back both, which is a testament to both the investment we made in them and the belief they have in the program. Because honestly, we could both see Corey going on probably somewhere else next year or 2. But I mean, right now they're both here, and that's rare in this landscape.
No, for sure, man. So grading the coaching staff position ranking, I think we're consensus top 10. I'm willing to make an argument for 5. but I would live with top 10. All right.
That works.
Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's talk position rankings, quarterbacks. And obviously, when you're dog put out the Birdman hand rub.
Quarterback's my favorite position to talk about.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, it starts with the head man, right? It starts with the guy who's going to lead the room. He's going to be the starter, bona fide producer at the P4 level, Darian Mensah. But let's talk the room, though, right? Because there are questions about, hey, if Darian does go down, for as good as he might be, what is the room? So where do you put Darian? Let's start there. Are you Darian's a top 5 guy in the country, 10, 25?
Honestly, I'm leaning top 5. I mean, I think there's probably 2 tiers of quarterbacks that you could sort of start at the top. I think there's the Chambliss Dante Moore tier, which honestly, even you could argue Mensah and Moore are closer than people think. I think Chambliss is probably number 1. That's just my opinion. Especially watching that Ole Miss when he played us, I think that kid's incredible. Just a special talent. I mean, our defense, that was the first time all year, really, they look like, I don't know what to do. So I put him probably number 1. And then there's that group of Dante, Darian, CJ Carr, Gunner, Arch, that sort of second tier where you could argue, top 5, top 10. I think Mensah would be probably 4th or 5th at worst. So I would put him personally top 5. That's just me.
Unequivocally, he's top 5 for me. Like, I don't really think it's that much of an argument. I do think there are some guys who are good college quarterbacks, but Dante Moore struggles in some big games. He played Indiana twice last year, looked mid to trash both times.
Agreed.
Gunner Stockton, he's fine, right? I think Gunner's fine. Gunner's not throwing for 4,000 yards like Darian Mensah did. Arch Manning is a stud. I am a believer in Arch. I wasn't always. I've come around. I think hit the back half of his season was really, really good.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like, all right, who are we really talking about? I'm not a big believer in CJ Carr.
Same, honestly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm not just crazy because I don't think CJ Carr is this world beater. I think I'm very interested to see what he looks like without 2 first-round caliber running backs, is what I'll say.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, I think Trinidad number 1, but then after that, you can make an argument for Darian, Dante, Arch, and sort of interchange them, in my opinion. I don't know about what you think in terms of that hierarchy.
No, I'm cool with that. I do like Jaden Mayava out there at USC. It's a name I'm forgetting. Somebody else that I'm kind of a fan of. But regardless, I don't think there's this. Oh, I don't think Julian Sain's a world beater either.
That's still being honest. Okay, yeah.
I don't think he's a world beater. Like, we played him, and I just didn't see anything special. I saw Jeremiah Smith, the generational wide receiver.
Yep.
I didn't see anything from Julian Sain that was like, oh my gosh, this kid is so incredible. I think he's a little overhyped. Maybe I'm a hater. So with that being said, I think Darian Mensah's bona fide top 5. But if we are being honest about the room, one of the things that I think Mario has missed on, and I like that Dan Lanning did this, which is weird that we just compared the 2 of them. He brought in a guy who he knows is going to be his next guy, and he's done it twice now, right? He had Dylan Gabriel. You bring in Dante Moore after a year starting at UCLA. You got Dante Moore this year. You bring in Dylan Raiola from Nebraska to sit behind him. And so he's really stacked his rooms as opposed to we've done this roll of the dice in the portal and hopefully we get a guy situation. He's kind of stacked his guys. So the backups, I'm not overly impressed right now. All right. So if you're grading the entire room, where are you putting the entire quarterback room versus the nation? 5, 10, 25, or worse? My bad.
I know we just poo-pooed on Lanning for like a few minutes, but like I said, what you just said right now, I love how he managed that quarterback room. He has a 2-year plan sort of in place, and not to knock Mario's, what he's done. It's, I guess he strike gold 3 times. You got Ward, you got Beck, took a lawsuit, but you got Mensah. It's not a sound strategy, but it works for us, so it is what it is. Yeah. But in terms of the overall room, it's really hard to even give it a ranking. I mean, Luke Nickel, you saw him in college in Georgia. I think he was Georgia Player of the Year or Gatorade Player of the Year, whatever it is. Judd, tall as hell, but I've never seen him throw a ball outside of a spring game, so I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
I watched Darian at a game here up in Orlando at Jones. The kid's incredible. He just needs a lot of work in the strength room, mature, turn into a D1 quarterback. So I love what he has, but honestly, man, I don't think I could give him a ranking, like a number. There's nothing behind Mensa that if Mensa goes down, knock on every piece of wood we have, might be a little scary.
Hey, man, I will never forget Emory Williams beat Clemson when Tyler Van Dyke went down, man. So if Emory can pull that off, then but to your point though, in all honesty, we've seen nothing from that room to have any faith in them at this level. Shout out to Chris Brown in the comments, man, saying not even the best on his team. Tavian St. Clair looked good in that spring game up there.
That's true.
St. Clair did look good, man. And I said it on the Somebody Said sports show last night, which we do every Monday night, 9 p.m., talking everything football, college football, and NFL. Shameless plug. If saying go to looking shaky, they might pull that boy. So
speaking of quarterbacks in rooms we forgot, not because he's brought up St. Clair, Keelan Russell at Alabama. I got high hopes for him. Okay. I think he's going to be special. That's just aside, but I thought about it right now.
Okay, all right. I'm not mad at it. I
like him a lot. I think he's going to be good.
Okay, that'll be an interesting one. That'll be an interesting watch for sure. All right, we do have to keep rolling though. Let's get into these running backs now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can't argue number one against number one. I don't think you can. I'm not even take off my shameless Canes connection plug hat. I don't see how you name a deeper room. I don't think you can. And then you add Mallory as your RB5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close.
There are some rooms that I do think will be solid, right? And there are some backs or some programs that have a number one running back that's probably better than Mark, right? If you want to argue me that Ahmad Hardy is better than Mark Fletcher, I won't fight you tooth and nail over that. If you want to fight me that Kewan Lacey at Ole Miss is better than Mark Fletcher, I won't fight you on that. But show me another running back room where the starter goes down, and you don't see a drop-off in production. We saw Marty Brown in key moments in the playoffs. People forget some of the Ohio State game, also the Ole Miss game where Mark was clearly banged up and Marty had to get some big touches. He did it, right? He stood up during the season. Mark gets hurt. And Gerard Pringle finds himself in a starting position in the Pitt game, and he produces. It's hard to convince me that there's a better running back room in the country than what we got right now.
Again, of all the groups, this was the easiest one where there's not even really a discussion needed. I think it's just the most obvious one we have. I mean, you could argue, like you said, there's Lacey, there's Hardy, and I really like Jaden Ball at Florida. I think he's a great running back. But again, you look at the room, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a whole lot to talk about there. It's not very close. I think we have the best running back room in the country. Now let's going from the best because we know what we got to a bit of a question mark. That offensive line. We're losing 4 starters from that offensive line. You bring back, I say a starter and a half. I feel like Samson Okunlola is kind of a half starter, right? I didn't realize he started it was the Ohio State game in the playoffs. I didn't realize that.
It's weird because I can never tell because him and McCoy sort of always like interchanged, and I can never really tell. I wasn't really looking at the numbers like who was on, who was off. But if you tell me Samson started,
I was on a flight recently, and I was like, you know what? I got 2 hours. Let's rewatch the Ohio State game. So, but if you're ranking this offensive line, right, and this is based on projection, we have not seen these boys play a real live game together. But if you were projecting this offensive line versus the rest of the country, where you ranking them?
Man, just another tough one. We assume Cantwell based off spring and what the reports are saying that he's going to be another freak. So we assume he's going to be a bona fide star left tackle. Samson and McCoy, they've been in the program a while. I'm not sure which one's going to play right tackle. I think McCoy started the spring game, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yep.
Don't know if him or Pancake are to be better at that position, personally. Center, was it Rodriguez, right? I mean, Brockermeyer was okay. He had his moments, but more times than not, we were upset at him for the penalties. So not sure how much of a drop off Rodriguez may or may not be. Who knows? But I mean, it's just it's hard to ever go against anything Mario or Mirabal want or say. If they say the lines, they have no problem with the line, then who are we to say there's a problem with the line? But if you're giving it a ranking based off, I guess, maybe reputation, you give it a top 25-ish, top 50. I know 50, you didn't mention that, but it's hard to just give it a concrete number. Now, again, if Cantwell becomes the freak we all think, we could revisit this in October and it could be totally different. But right now, it's hard to give it a high ranking.
It's line season, Mike. I don't know if
That's
you heard.
True. I know.
I don't know if you heard, bro. It's line season.
Hey, live, I know the group on this team, but this is the one where I just don't know.
What's going on, John? Appreciate you being on the show, man. Appreciate y'all boys jumping in the comments, man. If y'all have thoughts, feel free to drop them comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your thoughts in the comments, man. I want to hear what y'all think too. But offensive line, I'm not going to lie, but I am going to admit that I am projecting and I'm giving benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. If I'm going to blindly trust any position group on this roster with Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal, who I think is a top 5 offensive line coach in the country. I think if Mario wasn't a head coach, he'd be a top 5 offensive line coach in the country. I have to trust them. And there's a couple of things I'm looking at. One, you talked about some guys who have been in the system. Ron Rodriguez, 6-year senior. Matt McCoy, returning starter. Jackson Cantwell seems to be the next star tackle that they've recruited, developed along the lines of Penei Sewell and CC Maui Noah. He seems to be the next in that line. And then you bring back Pancake, who has bought his time, developed, committed to the process, and now he's ready to be a guy. If I'm looking at all that and I'm looking at those coaches, blind faith, I have to say they're at minimum top 25. And here's one other thing I'm looking at, and we can move on after this. They did not go hard in the portal for O-linemen. Now,
that is true.
That could be a factor of maybe there weren't a lot of good ones in the portal. I don't necessarily believe that. But I also think it's a factor of they like what they got to a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, other than, I guess, Seton was the big fish, and maybe we were the final 2, who knows. But that guy, yeah, special. But, I mean, other than him, yeah, I think we didn't mention Buchanan as a potential starting guard. Our boy Adam likes him a lot. I don't know anything about him, but if Adam likes him, then maybe that's a good thing.
He's a projected starter at right guard. When I did my post-spring starting 22, I did have Max Buchanan starting at right guard. So, yeah, listen, if I'm going blind faith on any position room on this team, I'm looking at offensive line. Hey, Chris, man, listen. Hey, bro, I got thoughts on that Mark Matthews situation. I don't think I'm going to have time to get into it tonight. Let's just say some kids, they just going to put you through that process. They going to put you through that recruiting roller coaster, man. I'm not a fan of it. I've got a theory and a philosophy on some of those kids who put you through that, man. But I'm going to say that for another day. My guy. But I will double back on it. I see the chatter going on about Mark Matthews. I'm going to double back on that. Mike, let's go ahead and do it, man. You know where this one starts. I don't have to tell anybody where this conversation begins and ends. That guy.
Special young man that kid is.
But rank the room, right? It's not just about Molly.
Yeah.
rank the entire room, and part of what I do, I'm like, how many other rooms would I trade for? Right? If I'm looking across the country, how many rooms would I trade for? When you look at this wide receiver room, where are you ranking them? 5, 10, 25 are not ranked, which there's no way they're not ranked.
I mean, again, line season, I guess, but
Let's go.
you gotta think top five. I mean,
Got to.
you got 2,000-yard returners, which I think we're the only team in the country with that. I didn't fact check that, but no one fact checks anything on Twitter, so it might be right. You got Barcade and Malley. You got Jacobs, who looked great in the spring game. Cam Vaughn had that crazy catch from West Virginia transfer. Josh Moore,
Mhm.
who's looked awesome. Apparently his injury wasn't too bad, hopefully. You got, I mean, it's just the freshmen that are coming in. Spafford, I know I'm missing a few guys, it's just a lot. But it's the deepest room, one of the, if not the deepest room in the country. Obviously, you got the Jeremiahs and the Cam Colemans and all that good stuff, but just top to bottom, I mean, minimum top 10, but you could argue top 5.
It's top 5.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing. I'm not debating. I'm not going back and forth with people about it. This wide receiver room is top 5. I truly believe when Shannon Dawson said he can go 6 deep on the outside, I believe him.
Yeah.
I believe we for sure can go 3 deep at the slot if we had to. Right? Because obviously Malley's that guy. I think we got several guys you could throw in that slot that would be able to produce. I think Dalen Upshaw can produce on the outside or the inside.
That's the one I was missing. Yep, Upshaw.
I feel like Dalen Upshaw could get busy in that slot position. They talked about the fact that Vandrevius Jacobs is a problem on the quick passing game. A lot of people think about him as a deep ball threat, which he is, but in that quick passing game too, you need a guy who can take, a slant 35, 40 yards, and he's got the explosiveness to do it. Jose, what's up, Jose? Jose say he got the receivers #1 in the country.
Hard to argue. If you go in room, again, if you're going room.
My one tussle is if we are putting our starters next to Ohio State's, I think Ohio State has 2 of the top 3 in the conversation. He hasn't played a snap yet. Chris Henry Jr. is going to be an absolute problem.
Yeah.
Chris Henry Jr. is an absolute problem. He's the next Jeremiah Smith, which is crazy to say.
I do think what turns us from maybe top 5 to #1 or #2 is really Josh Moore. I think he's that X factor that if he becomes what we think he's going to be, he's going to make all the difference because he's going to be that big body receiver. Honestly, we haven't had because you look at the Cam Ward year, we didn't really have that guy throw it up in the end zone. Last year we saw spurts of it. That South Florida game, he was awesome. We saw bits and pieces, but he never really was on the field a lot. I think if he's what we think he is, yeah.
I agree. If Josh Moore can start nearing that ceiling with his size, speed combination, catch radius, explosiveness, 50-50 ball guy, if he starts touching that ceiling, bro, it gets spooky. And I do mean it gets scary real quick, man. I think it gets scary real quick. Okay, we do have to keep rolling, man. I usually keep these around 30 minutes, but it seems like we're going to go a little bit long, and I feel like we're okay with that. We cool with that? You good?
Love it. Can't wait.
All right. Cool.
Except this position group. I don't really want to talk about it, but
you know what? Honestly, I know where you think we're going, and I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
For the tight end room, bro, I'm going not ranked. Like, I'm not even I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's part of that's on Mario's, I think, just I guess not recruiting it heavily, either believing in the room or just not. I think Gavin Mueller could be a guy if he looks good on paper, looks good in film. I don't know anything about him. Lofton, if he finally stays healthy and catches the ball, I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I got nothing there.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I was high on him. I thought at the very worst we would get crap, and I said his name earlier. I thought we'd get at least Chris Herndon out of Elijah Lofton.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And I haven't even gotten that. Like I've got nothing, man. So honestly, I'm cool
They
not
just
digging into
can't be
tight ends.
negative. They can't be what they were last year. I think if they're just a net neutral, no drop passes, decent blocks, maybe a score here or there, a big catch on third down. It's really all I could ask for.
I thought you were about to say a name, bro, and honestly, I might have
I
booed
thought
you.
about it, but this is your podcast. I'm not going to get into number 87. I don't want to get there.
Hey, man, I was like, I hate to have to toss my dog for breaking that name up, man, because
Never.
you hate that dude just as much as I do. We're cool not
Yeah,
talking anymore about him, man.
we know about that.
Listen, excited to talk about this group though,
Yeah.
specifically because of these two guys right here. Defensive end is one of the hottest, most popular, highly sought after position groups in college football positions. I would say DN is arguably a top 3 most important position in football these days. Everybody wants to be able to rush the passer. But when you can win in the middle, when you can dominate in the middle, teams can't run the ball. You got D tackles that can go get after quarterbacks. That's when your defense really can be elite. And I think we have a top 3 D tackle tandem in the country. Mike, am I lying? Or is that real talk?
It's real talk, man. I mean,
Okay.
that's the D line room as a whole. You got Moten, you got Justin Scott, you got Blount, who really is sort of, you could play him on the end or you could play him in the interior. You have Jarquez Carter, I think, who people don't really talk about, the Ohio State transfer. I think he's going to be a good one. It's a big boy. Obviously, you got Lightfoot, Wilson. I mean, yeah, it's scary, and we're not even talking about potentially Scroggins and Lowe. I know there's heard some things about Lowe, whether or not he's going to play, blah blah blah. But as a total room, I mean, top 5 minimum. And like you said, the D tackle room alone is top 3. You got Stone from Oklahoma. He's very good, but you start naming some guys, and Scott's up there. He's a first round talent. So is Moten.
So Moten is already getting first round projections in the way too early NFL mock drafts. I think I said this on Twitter, people are going to come for Ahmad Moten and they're going to stay for Justin Scott. Like, you hear those stories about like a coach who goes like recruit a kid in high school and they're watching practice and they're like, oh, who's number 5? Like, I came to watch number 1.
Yeah.
Who's 5 though?
I almost think that happened with Messidor and Bain. Obviously, both first-round talents on their own, but Ruben Bain, one of my favorite players in the draft. Your team got him, but people probably were watching film going, "Damn, who's that guy on the other side?"
Yeah, which I said it during the season. I think he actually had a better season. I think Messidor had a better year than Ruben Bain, but could be a hot take. Let's just go ahead and. Chris, man, you be getting you keep me on my toes, bro.
You got the hot pressing questions.
Yeah. Chris don't let nothing slide, man. I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea. I can't make heads or tails of this kid. I rather not speculate. There's the rumors out there. There's the chatter about what may or may not be going on. To be honest, I simply don't know. And what I will say is this. If we get anything from Hayden Lowe this season, that's a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Because I'm not expecting him. Like, if I was a betting man, I was putting money down, do I expect to see Hayden Lowe in meaningful ball this year? I would have to bet no. But I'm going to say better. Mike, I know you talk to people, you hear some stuff, you know some people that know some people. Any thoughts on this Hayden Lowe? Do you expect him to play? We're going to see him out there?
I mean, from what not that I'm the most plugged in guy in the world, but from what I've heard, there's cautious optimism that he'll be available. I really don't even know what happened. I know there may have been some incidents, not bad or good, criminal, blah, 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 but just things that have happened off the field. So I'm not sure. I know he had the big injury last year, but I think he's hopefully fully recovered from that. So I'm not sure if it's something else. But I do know there is some optimism that he will. But who knows? But I did have a question for the D-line before we move on really quick.
Yeah.
I think this year we have a better edge room for pass in terms of pass rush. I think Lightfoot and Wilson are better pass rushers. My concern with them,
Okay.
and you can tell me where I'm wrong, is what Bain was the best in the country at is, setting the edge and stopping the run on those outside sort of sweeps and things like that, which again, I'm not a film guru. I don't know how good Damon Wilson is at that, but
Mhm.
I am wondering a little bit what your thoughts are on that, stopping the run, containing the edge versus pass rushing.
Yeah, so I do think they're both more natural pass rushers. Ruben was always, they used the word sawed off, right? He doesn't have the
Yeah.
stereotypical. He's not 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". He was a little more compactly built, is what I would call it. We all know about the whole arms length conversation. Akeem Mesidor, same thing. Like Mezzi's not 6'5", right? This,
No.
this is not by any means, or was not by any means, Jalen Phillips and Garrett and Greg Russo lining
Right.
up across from each other. This was not that. But they were technicians. They
Mhm.
were football junkies, and they were really good at what they did. But from a pure just walking in the door, getting after quarterbacks, Damon Wilson and Marquise Lightfoot looked the part
Yep.
much more than those two
Agreed.
did. So, yeah, from a pass rush perspective, we saw Damon Wilson go out and get 9 sacks in the SEC. And anytime he got snaps, Marquise Lightfoot, that is, he was getting after quarterbacks. I want to say the stat is that he had like 30 something pressures on only like a couple hundred snaps, which is a crazy ratio. So
100%.
ceilings there, but conversation with Lightfoot, got to put on weight to be able to hold up against the run. And Damon Wilson, you just got to try against the run. I just
Yeah.
don't think he tried.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed. I'm with you.
no, we'll see. We'll see on that one. Linebackers. This is an interesting one because we know what we're getting at one spot. And I think we mostly feel pretty good about that one guy, that being Motore.
Mhm.
The other spot seems like it's going to go to Chase Smith, who been in the program a while, had his injury problems. Where are you landing on this linebacker room?
Yeah. It's a weird one to sort of project. I think, it's a sturdy group. It's a safe group, I don't
Mhm.
think there's necessarily high-end talent in that room. I guess, Wiley maybe could prove me wrong, but it's a safe room, it's the nice guy, meets the parents, everyone likes him. It's that sort of room. Like, I don't think they're going to be in a position where they're going to make a lot of mistakes. I think they're going to be solid
Mhm.
against the run, the pass a little bit iffy, but I just think they're going to be a safe, decent room. I don't know if I can put a number on it, unless again we have maybe Bonner or Wiley, one of these guys pop off, and all of a sudden we're like, oh crap, where's that guy been? But
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be a safe, okay room. I don't have anything special about it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting, some generational type of production from the linebacker spot. Now, I don't think it's too much to expect like Shaq Quarterman production from Motore. And here's why. Not because I think he is as good or as heady or as smart of a player as Shaq, because I was a huge Shaq
Yeah.
Quarterman fan. Huge. Here it is. Man, Jose beat me to it. What you're getting in
That's
front of you
true.
makes your job so much easier.
100%. Jose is
When
right.
your D tackles ball out, the job as a linebacker is so much easier. The lanes are wide open. You
Yep.
don't have to worry so much about coming downhill in run support when those guys are blowing stuff up right at the line of scrimmage. The D tackles and DNs too, to a certain extent, make the job of the linebacker so much easier, dog. If they aren't at least solid, at least top 25, simply as a benefit of what's happening in front of them, that's a letdown.
I like that point. I like what Jose said. Having that sort of front in front of you, I mean, they're clogging up the lanes for you, the big uglies. You're just going to be able to shoot the gap, shoot the A, shoot the B, shoot the C. As long as, discipline. They're not the fastest, they're not the most athletic, but we don't need them to be, Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
So If you want to give him top 25, I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with unranked, but unranked being in the thing where I don't think it's going to be a group that's going to fail us all year, if that makes any sense. I don't think we're going to look back in November and go, damn, those linebackers really screwed us over this year.
I agree. Like, I don't think we look back and like, man, we would have been able to go play for a natty if we were just better at linebacker. Like, I don't think it comes down to that. All right, let's round it out. Really only one more group to talk about. Now, this is a fun group that I think a lot of us are excited about. A lot of proven production, known commodities, names we're used to. When you talk about the back end of this Miami defense, I'm so excited to watch this guy play football again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to watch that kid playing football again, that young man, Bryce Fitzgerald. But it's not just him. We bring back the top 4 corners. Actually, no, call it the top 5 corners.
Antoine, yeah.
Right? When you include Antoine, Jabari Antoine, obviously the top 4, Xavier Lucas, OJ Frederick, Damari Brown, Ethan O'Connor. At safety, you bring back Zechariah Poyser. Bryce Fitzgerald moves into a permanent starting spot. And then you infuse Omar Thornton from Boston College, who was all ACC. Chaz, I'm tempted to say something crazy about this DB room, man, but I'm going to let you go first.
I like it. I'm going to be as crazy as you. I think it's top 5. I think you have 2 first-round talents, at least, in Lucas and Frederick. I think Frederick is the perfect prototypical NFL corner. I think Lucas is just another prototypical NFL corner. And it's weird because I think Damari, out of those 3, may be the most NFL ready if he could ever get on the field. If he could stay healthy at his size, his height, what is he, 6'2", 200, around there? I mean, that's an NFL GM's dream. I know O'Connor gets a lot of hate. I don't believe it. I don't think it's fair. I think you put him on an island with Charlie Becker and the national championship on a back shoulder. It's not his fault, man. It is what it is. You put him into a rough spot. I don't, for a corner CB4, maybe even CB5. I love what Antoine's been doing. I like O'Connor. I think he's serviceable for what he is. I'm excited with Omar Thornton a lot. It's going to be hard to replace Keontae, but that guy's a missile.
Yeah.
It's downhill. Don't think, hit. That's all you need to do. We're not asking you for 3 to 4 interceptions. You just shoot the gap, play that nickel, hit people. That's all you need. I love it. And then you got the safeties. Poyser being back there still is huge. Bryce, if he maybe needs to work a little bit on tackling and gain a little weight. I'm not sure what he looked like in spring, but he's a ball hawk. Can't ask for anything else. Yeah, man, top 5.
I'm with Chris. Top 2, and I'm saying not 2. Hey, listen.
I like it.
Listen, when I see Xavier Lucas, I think of Tyreek Stevenson. I think the comparisons of like going away at first and then coming back and then really hitting their ceiling, just from the composition, the physicality that they play with. And Tyreek Stevenson, quiet as kept, has carved himself out a nice role in Chicago with the Bears.
Good.
So I see Xavier Lucas on that path. To your point, just pure cover corner. Obviously, I'm not saying he's that, but when I think of like the ceiling for OJ Frederick, I think of Christian Gonzalez. Not super big, not the most physically impressive, but when you talk about just strapping people, I just literally just put the clamps. I'm stride for stride. You can't beat me over the top. I'm physical enough. I play the ball in the air. Like, bro, hey, listen, man. I'm big on the juice, man. Safety Zechariah Poyser quietly is one of the most consistent guys on this defense. Now, the one thing he got to do better, he got to work on them angles. He'll take some bad angles sometimes and get out-rimmed by a guy.
Helped him out a lot last year with that.
Yeah. He's got to work on that, man. But quietly, bro, he just does his job. He's in the right position. He don't get beat. He just does his thing. Bryce Fitzgerald, you talk about a guy who is just a natural ball hawk guy. Like he's just around the ball. Like it feels like a slightly more athletic Jaquan Johnson, where like he's just around the ball a lot. Like he just knows where the ball is going to be, and he just
I
puts
like that.
himself. He puts himself in those positions, man. And then Omar Thornton, one of my favorite things I've heard about Omar Thornton is he don't care about his body. Like he just don't care about his
Love it.
own well-being. He's just out there just throwing himself around, man. So I think this DB room is top 2 and probably not 2. Very, very high on them, man. And yeah, Jose, you're right.
You can sell me on that. Yeah.
When
But
Xavier
really
Lucas
quick,
came in that game,
what's your?
yeah.
I was say really quick. What are your thoughts on Damari? I think he has the talent to be the best in that room, in just my personal opinion. It's just hard to get. I guess hard to give it without seeing him on the field.
I hate to say it. Damari Brown, he's that guy you want getting off the bus first.
Yeah.
Because it looks the way it looks.
It looks the part. Like, yeah.
Golly. And you know what? I love the fact, I don't know if you saw it, but Mario called him out. He talked about during spring, he's like, our DBs have got to get more durable. They've got to be stronger. He's like, we've gone deep into the season back-to-back years, and we had corners that were hurt. And Damari's the prime example, right? Back-to-back years, we've gone deep into the year, and Damari, you're not available.
It's true. 100%.
That's it, right? He's gonna end up like Stacey Coley, but playing even less. Where it's like, man, if you just stayed healthy, what could have been?
What if? Yeah, exactly.
What if, man? And that's tough. That's absolutely tough. And we didn't even mention JJ Dunnigan.
That's true. That, I mean, from what I've heard, and obviously everyone's heard the same, just from camp and the practices, we have another star in our hands. I think that kid looks, again, he's talking about getting off the bus. That kid looks the part.
Yeah, he is going to be one of them ones, man. That kid, the ceiling's the sky for JJ Dunnigan. Ceiling's the sky. Chaz, man, listen, this is the longest show I've done on this pod, man. I usually keep them to 30, but we're talking such good ball.
I love it. You got 15 seconds? Because I want to bring up something that may not be an issue, but could be an issue because kicker. We got 2.
Mm-hmm.
We got Weinberg, we got him from Florida State. I believe we got that Jack Olson kid from Northwestern, I believe. One's like a kickoff specialist, and one is like more of a pure kicker within 40 or something. Again, Carter Davis wasn't great. He didn't cost us a game. A&M, we got lucky. That was a windy game. Mm-hmm. He didn't really cost us anything. He won his Notre Dame game, you could argue. So what are your thoughts? I mean, again, I'm not a special teams guy, but I don't know if I have confidence in them, but I didn't have confidence in this guy last year, and he came out and won us a game.
I think on the kicking piece, I like the fact that we are going specialist style on it, where you have one job. Your job is only kickoffs, right?
Yeah.
This other guy, your job is only field goals. I do like that. I feel like that's a little more of an NFL model, low key. I'm not mad at that at all. I don't feel like kickers like quarterback, where if you got 2, you got none. I don't think it's one of those. But it is a question mark, right? And
correct.
I'm gonna be honest. I am just burned from years and years of kickers burning us. I'll never forget that Georgia Tech game where we missed like 4 field goals and lost by 7. I don't want games to come down to
every
a kicker.
Every 60-yarder. Yeah.
Bruh. So don't be who was that one kid? Don't be Bubba Baxter. Can you just
He was I believe he was the number 1 Coles kicker in the country coming in.
Oh God.
Like 30% and somehow rated number 1. Yeah, that was rough. Just don't be him. I'll take Carter Davis again. I could live with a Carter Davis.
Perfectly fine. Just don't be Bubba Baxter. Like that's just all.
Basically.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I'm with you.
Punter came back too, right?
Yeah, Dylan Joyce. You got the always have an Aussie punter. I think that's the pipeline now.
All right, cool. Then I'm
No problems
cool
with him. He
there.
was always great.
Yeah. Now you know what? Let me kick one of you off. Just thought of this.
Sure.
What would you do at kick return? Because we haven't had really like
Ooh.
a threaten to take it to the crib kind of guy back there in a while. I don't necessarily like Molly on kick return. Give me Molly on punt return, but not kick. Where you going kick return?
Yeah, it was weird because Keelan Marion last year was supposed to be he was a first team All American preseason for special teams, and I'm not sure how much it was his fault, how much was it the coverage, and how much was it just kicking styles now in college where a lot of these kickers are kicking it through the end zone that we never really got a chance. I would like to see a guy like Pringle back there, honestly, or maybe Pringle or like an upshot. I think Pringle's got the shiftiness to be a really effective kick returner, just my opinion. But again, in this college era, kickers are just booting it through the end zone nowadays with the starting yardage and stuff like that. So it's hard to have an effective kick returner in 2026. But I think Pringle would be cool back there, in my opinion.
Give me Pringle and Vandrevius Jacobs, who people are saying could be the fastest player on the team. Give me that explosive.
I like that. Yeah,
give me that long
like that
speed, man. Somebody who's because Keelan Marion almost took back one or two where like guys in his way or something like that. So if you get, if you just put the team in plus field position, maybe you don't run it back, maybe you don't take it down to the 20, but if you just put us in plus field position beyond the 25, I'm cool with that. Chaz, man, appreciate you coming on, man. I've told people, listen, this show, I happen to be the host or whatever, and I run it, but I want other people to come do this with me, man. You love these games. You love everything Miami.
Yeah, we don't talk about those other teams. Other than the Panthers, we'll talk about them. But we don't have to discuss the Dolphins or anything like that. But yeah, born and raised, it's a disease, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a disease. But man, love having you on, bro. Won't be the last time. Appreciate you. Again, appreciate everybody in the comments, man. I appreciate all y'all in the comments. Everybody watching, people who are going to watch, after it's uploaded. Again, I can't do this without the support. Please continue hitting the like. Please continue hitting that subscribe button. When I get to 305 subs, I'm giving away something, probably from Kingswear. Oh, listen, I'm giving away some. I gotta show my appreciation because people choose to watch me. Like, y'all watch me? I gotta show love. So 305 subs, 305 subs. I'm giving away something. I've got some ideas about how I want to do it, but once we hit it, I'll put that information out there. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. My man Mike, you continue to be you. Be cool how you be cool. It's always go Canes.
Go Canes.
And I'm gonna holler at y'all next week, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. BE.